Hello, and welcome to 12-Minute Meditation, a weekly podcast from Mindful that offers mindfulness meditations backed by neuroscience. Research shows that just 12 minutes of meditation a day can yield benefits like increased attention, focus, creativity, calm, resilience, and compassion. So on this podcast, we invite you to explore 12-minute guided meditations from today's leading mindfulness experts. I'm Siri Myram, editor at Mindful. This week, Mindful founding editor Barry Boyce reminds us of the basic why behind mindfulness meditation. We get off kilter at various times throughout the day, and we need a way to pause and reconnect with reality, with our senses, with our steady center. That's what meditation helps us do. This practice is called taking your seat, and it's perfect if you're getting started with meditation or if you just need a touch point during your day. Barry Boyce is founding editor of Mindful and Mindful.org. He is a longtime meditation practitioner and teacher, as well as a professional writer and editor. Ready to practice? Here's Barry Boyce.
Daily practice can make a real difference. In fact, the study of mindfulness-based stress reduction practitioners that was published in an American Psychological Journal suggested that increasing mindfulness on a daily basis, and I'm quoting here, can be a beneficial means to improve daily psychological well-being. So I think that's something we want. And here at Mindful, we think that regular practice does, in fact, work to improve our psychological well-being. Regularity really means something. It builds your mindfulness muscle, your memory that you can be aware of what's up with you and your surroundings in any given moment. Now, what you do every day in terms of mindfulness can vary in terms of the type of thing you do and the length you do it, how you do it, but the key is to be doing something every day. You know, one thing I know is that we get off-kilter at various times throughout the day. Our emotions can take us there, our circumstances, and mindfulness practice can be a way to get us back on track, allow us to reestablish ourselves. So with that in mind, I'd like to start with a little practice that we call taking your seat. So let's get started. So the first part of this is to take a seat, and it can be on a chair or a bench. It could even be a park bench. Or if you want to be seated on the floor, could be a cushion. The key thing is to make sure that you have a stable, solid seat. So I'm in my office chair, so I'm going to get adjusted so I feel like I'm well seated, not feeling like I'm perched or going to rock back and forth. So now that you've taken a seat, the first thing to pay attention to is our lower half, our legs, our feet, our bottom. So if you're on a cushion, you could simply cross your legs comfortably in front of you. And you want to make sure your knees are at the same level of or below your hips. Otherwise, if your knees are sticking up and you're sitting on a cushion, it's going to be uncomfortable after a while. If you're seated on a chair, it's a good idea to have your feet on the floor, touching the floor. So now we have established our seat, and then we pay attention to the upper half of our body, our torso. So we want to straighten, but not stiffen our spine. So you might just lean over a little bit like this first, just let yourself relax down, and then lift up. And just let your spine have its natural curvature. It's like a question mark. You don't have to stiffen like this, but rather you just have your natural straightness. You have a feeling of being upright. Now, if you have some issues with your spine, you have a particular kind of injury, just get yourself into whatever works for you as a comfortable, upright posture. So then the next thing we pay attention to is our arms and our hands. So our arms are parallel. The upper part of our arms are parallel to our torso, like this. And we let our hands drop naturally wherever they would drop if our arms are parallel to our upper body. As long as your arms are parallel, that keeps you from hunching over or being too stiff like this. So then we move to our head and our eyes. So the first thing we do with our head is just to drop our chin slightly and have our gaze be down. This makes us a little more humble, you might say. And at this point, you can let your eyes close. Just feel the relaxation of your eyes. Your eyes do so much work, so much of the time looking at screens and reading on your phone, driving, so much work. So we're letting them relax. And now the last part we pay attention to is our mind and body together. So first notice points of contact. Your feet are touching the floor, so notice how that feels. Your feet touching the floor, or if you're seated cross-legged on a cushion, might be the bottom of your legs. And then if you're in a chair or a cushion, the bottom touching the chair or the cushion. That's very important, where you have your point of contact. And you can feel now like you're well seated and held up. You're like a dignified rider riding a horse through life. Now just pay attention for a little while to your breath going out, coming in, your breath going out, coming in. Just do that for a little while. Now, you can notice that you're thinking of all sorts of thoughts. Just let them flow and be there. And come back to being in your chair, or on your cushion, or on your bench, wherever you are, settled, stable. Something upsets you, come back to that, just being settled. Now, let's take one last deep breath in and fully out. And now open your eyes. So maybe that provides a little bit of refreshment, and then you can just take that little break and then launch back into your day.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of 12-Minute Meditation from Mindful. I hope you enjoyed practicing with us today. You can access dozens of articles and guided practices through our free app at mindful.org/app. And if you'd like to explore additional related content and meditations on this week's theme, check the show notes for links.